Hi again. I was supposed to drop this last Saturday actually, but that entire week before that Saturday I was sick. And then the Saturday that I was filming, I just didn't like how ill I still sounded, so it just wasn't really working out. I tried to gather footage during the week I was sick, but I training while sick is already tough enough to do, and to do that footage that I was able to get.
Oh, hi. It's 11 a.m. I slept in. I am still pretty fatigued from the cold that I had earlier this week. I am mainly just blowing my nose now. Everything's coming out clear, so I'm good to hit a swim workout, 30 minutes, and then I get to run for about an hour. So, yeah, today should be a good Saturday. Nice, relaxing. Gonna try to recover while I can after my swim. And, yeah, should be a good day. It's crazy that this is the most zoom that this lens is getting. But, yeah, so I did my swim. I didn't film any of it because there was 5 million kids in the pool. It was, not the best. I had to swim around a bunch of people, but it was, what needed to happen. My face is so dry, I forgot my lotion and my soap at home, somehow. I have no idea how it left my swim bag. I am so dry. It is so cold, and my face, just the chlorine, just, I feel like a golem. I'm gonna go home and put some lotion on. Sprints on a treadmill are so garbage, but it gives me the perfect opportunity every 3-minute break to try and find a new angle for the camera. Officially content build. Oh my god. So even though I was running sprints in my power zone, it was super hard. Heart rate, screaming the entire time. My average heart rate, because of the 3-minute breaks, it dropped so low that the average was 146. And it's considered a base run, despite the fact that it's a tempo run. That's fine. My cat's here. Hold on. Let's see if we can capture him. The elusive Henrico. Hi, little guy.
Today we're going to be reflecting on my first Spartan and how I did with the obstacle courses and things that I can learn from that to use in my future upcoming Spartans. So we'll start with this. Let's see. So I have my laptop here actually, just to general loose script, because I don't think I could recall these obstacles off the top of my head. That'd be insane. But Okay, so well, I guess we'll just hop right into it. So the first two obstacles were the over-unders and the 4-inch overwalls after a good amount of running in the dirt. And I should have known that I undertrained because the first, like, 4-inch wall, I ate it so hard. Like, I was able to get over, but I think I was just overestimating how fast I should have been going. And I just kind of just sent it and just, like, I made it over, and then I just lost my footing and just completely fell on the ground in front of everybody. It was that should have been the first sign that it was a very cooked day that was about to begin. So I just kind of kept it pushing. It was there were a bunch of ditches also following that. So I'm still kind of catching my breath because I just kind of kept going after recovering from falling. And then suddenly there are these ditches, so I had almost no time to really just set a standard pace. I just kind of just sent it. In those ditches, you would go deep in and then climbing back out. So there was just absolutely no room to recovery breathe from that. It was, ooh, it was, it caused me to develop a stitch pretty early on. We're talking like not even like 10 minutes into this, which is also pretty embarrassing on my end considering I like we're barely into this 5K. 5K. So the second obstacle was the monkey bars, and I failed for obvious reasons. I still tried to attempt it at least, so it would feel more. I don't know. I didn't want to just immediately opt out because of this. So I made about 1 bar, 2. I fall. So that was my first of many penalty loops I took that day. So after this, I keep pushing on to the sandbag carry. And this was in a cornfield, which is really important. If you remember my first video I mentioned, I rolled my ankle twice in that cornfield, which followed the sandbag carry portion. That part was honestly pretty easy. It's just specifically the terrain of the cornfield. So it's, there's uneven ground everywhere, and there's pieces of corn everywhere. So I was just trying to, avoid stumbling in this corn, and because of that I rolled my ankle twice, and because of that I had to run walk the entire rest of the race because my ankle was screaming at me for a huge majority of the race. It was just in this giant farm field, and that was 100% something I should have taken into consideration when doing this race, but I didn't, and as a result my ankle got upset. So that's going to be a huge first lesson. Watch where you step so you don't end up just completely almost eating it in a field of corn about 20 minutes into a race. So I made my way over to the next obstacle, which was the slip wall, which was fun because I just injured my ankle, and this was also one of the obstacles that I thought I would be able to do, especially since the race was more of a dry race. There was no mud obstacles, at least for the 5K course. And I made it about 2 steps, and I couldn't reach anything. So I did my second penalty loop right then and there. And, whew. Yeah, I just, that one hurt, honestly, because I don't know, I just had a higher expectation and felt that I just kind of failed myself. But we got to remember, I have to remind myself that it's okay, considering I was very ill prepared for this race specifically. I only really did endurance training, and even then, that doesn't take into consideration, all the lifting portions that I'm doing. Ignore Ricky, please. That that would also, take a toll on my endurance, which would harm my own endurance even more. So while I am tired and exhausted already, I should have beaten myself up about it the way that I did. But it is what it is. So after that was the Z wall, which I also thought I could do, and this one I also kind of beat myself up over because I used to rock climb, and they're all essentially just, crimps at the most. So, ignoring that I have a whole wrist issue, I almost made it to the end, and my forearms just checked out completely. And I got like so nauseous for a quick second after I hopped off the Z wall that I was just like, as I made my way to the next penalty loop. But that's also something that should be noted, is that you're gonna get more exhausted sooner as you're, using both your anaerobic and aerobic capacities just back to back to back to back. My ego was just crushed, and I made my way over to the barbed wire crawl. There we go. I should fix that. Hello. Okay, yeah. That fixes that. There's just it's raining outside, so it just got darker. But anyways, the barbed wire crawl. Ooh, oh boy. So the honestly wouldn't have been nearly as bad if it wasn't for the fact that my hair got caught on every single wire. Every single one. No matter how low I held my head, this fro just kept like, and I'd have to like detangle and scroll and detangle, and it was just, it took so much longer than I needed to take. So my next lesson from the Spartan, get a haircut, which is needed anyways. I haven't actually cut this in about 5 years now. Yeah, I do need a haircut anyway. So with the barbed wire crawl, a lot of people will roll it, and honestly, I might try that next time. Just not even to like save my like energy capacity, but just because it looked really fun. And there's also like pictures being taken in that area, so I could also get some shots of me rolling, which would be hysterical, I think. After the barbed wire crawl, I honestly felt pretty refreshed, just because I wasn't moving as fast, so it just gave me time to just get some wind, some air hitting me, and I made my way over to the next portion of the race, which was the the Atlas carry. This one threw me off so much because I guess it's just because of the shape, but it's 75 pounds, right? But alarm. When I picked it up, it just felt so much heavier. I guess I don't know if it's because I couldn't get a good grip on it, but I was like kind of just and I made it around, but it was a struggle there. It was just weirdly. I guess just I honestly think it was just the weight distribution. It was just weird. But I I waddled essentially through that obstacle and did some more walls, and made it to the bucket carry. Now, this part, honestly, was so chill. It was, because same amount of weight, but the weight distribution is just better. Like, just having it on my shoulder, I was just like, walking, I'd maybe move it to my other shoulder, just strolling. I noticed a lot of other people just kind of took that time to just breathe, which it's honestly was a great opportunity to do so. There was a photographer there, so I just kind of like, it really wasn't that serious there. It was pretty fun. Then after that was the spear throw. Oh my god, I don't know what possessed my ego into thinking that I could just nail this first try, especially with this. But I made my way up, and here's the thing: I do have really good aim, but all things considered, like I was very accurate, but the spear essentially just flew like this and just then bounced off. So those burpees were fun. But yeah, I guess my other lesson would be not to assume that you can just magically throw a spear really well. So then there was an inverted wall, but my wrist and forearms were just not having it. I could barely hold myself up there. So another day, another loop. And lesson number 4 would probably be build back your climbing endurance, because I did spend an entire year not doing that for reasons. Because, that's really important in a Spartan. Grip strength, who would have thought? Okay, next obstacle was the rope climb. I didn't even bother. I just saw it. I went straight to the battle escape. Like, there was no point. I was not happy. I was exhausted. My ego was just destroyed. I honestly, I think it was about this point where I wanted to quit, because I just know that like a year ago I would have been able to do some of the stuff when now I couldn't, but that's okay. And a huge part of my Spartan journey now is accepting that I won't be able to do everything because of a pretty valid reason, but the race is what you make it. It's not that deep. At this point, my ankle was killing me. My head was pounding. I was just exhausted. I stumbled my way over to the Hercules hoist, and this one made me mad, because I know full well I could have done that if it, in any other case scenario, if it wasn't for the fact that if it was significantly earlier in the race, I know I could have done that one, but I just, my arms were so checked out at that point that I wasn't even able to like get myself to where I could pull with my back, just because my forearms were just so checked out. So I ripped another loop, threw myself over a hay bale, and made it to the A-frame. And this climb, whoo, 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 I was just ripping through it. Like, just gotta get this over with. We're almost done. We're almost done. And I was just so ready to jump that fire. And when I did, I thought it was over until I run into the guy holding the medals. He points to his left and he goes, "If you run this extra bit, you get a free pin." And I was like, okay. So I run it. Little did I know it was an extra mile. And I didn't find this out until about halfway through I was running it. I barely even remember how it went. I just remember like crawling under something. I remember throwing myself or something. I was spent. But I know that I did it, and I did get my pin. Was it worth it? Probably not. If I knew in retrospect, I probably would never. But in the future, that's my last lesson would have to be um, the pin is an extra mile. And whether or not you run that is up to you. But overall, based off these lessons, my goals would be to try and rebuild as much grip strength as I can, obviously. Train more on uneven terrain. Now, this works out because I literally live in the woods. So there are plenty of trails that I can run on. I just have to kind of get over my fear of running in the literal woods. Which, honestly, it's not that bad, but I do just need to be aware of myself and where I am and learn to work around that, which I will, and hopefully in the future I'll be able to also get footage of that, which would be super, super duper cool. I, as you've noticed, my quality's jumped up a bunch. It's because I've been blessed with a lot of really good equipment in the past week when I started this journey, and I also am going to get more equipment in the future in order to make as much quality as possible, which is also my goal with chasing Sparta and promoting Inner Forge Fitness, my personal training business. I've also been working on short form content. I will probably start putting that on YouTube also as YouTube Shorts. However, I don't really care as much for short form content. YouTube, just long form, is more what I aspire to do. I have a certain idea that uses my creative vision in a way that I really enjoy, that I want to start incorporating in future videos. And due to these blessings that have been given to me, I am going to use that to the best of my ability to make the best quality content that I can out there, just to share my journey and to show others that if you are willing to commit, you can do amazing things. So if you enjoyed watching, thank you, and I hope you stick around, subscribe, maybe like it, maybe, and in the future there'll be better stuff coming.